The first topic is on are traditional relationships done in this modern era, and I'll give some context to it. So, obviously, we know what traditional relationships are in terms of, um, from the man's perspective, the man is the provider, the man quotes the woman again to a family, he protects, he provides for the family. The woman is the nurturer. The woman kind of, in essence, manages the home, manages the family, makes sure that everybody's good. And then most times, most people start off in these traditional relationships quite young. So women start off very young. Most of the times they were virgins, and then the man was maybe a bit older, but he was not like, unless it's like multiple like polygamous, but he wasn't like quite young as well.
Yeah.
That compared to modern relationships where we have, due to the fact that now there's a lot of feminism, empowerment, women empowerment. Women get to go to school. Women get to have jobs. Not get to, but as in they have jobs. They go to school, and because of that, they choose to settle down much later in life. And men as well choose different parts of life. There's not that much pressure sometimes on men to be as much of a provider or protector, and so now men also get married much later in life, but they also don't expect to fulfill the provider protector role. That kind of modern relationship leads to something they call baby mama culture, where a guy might have a kid with this woman and they have another kid with this woman and this woman has a kid with this guy, and that's kind of like the way modern relationships works now. So I'm saying, based on these modern times that we live in, do you believe that traditional relationships as defined before is kind of done in this modern era? So
do I believe it's done? I don't think it's done. I just think it's evolved in a different way still, right? Because from a man's point of view, the general objective is you're still expected to provide, which hasn't changed. It's just that like the way you provide now is very different, right? You provide from the angle of maybe mental or emotional stability more than you probably do before, where before was more focused on resources, where you have to bring food and all that kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily think the idea of relationship has changed, but I just feel like in this modern era we struggle to define what the modern era of dating should be, because we keep having that conflict. Like we keep describing modern tradition in an older version, and there's always that conflict of, okay, women want to be independent, but the same women too want a man to provide for them. So how does that work? That doesn't make any sense. Well, to me anyway. Personally, to me,
that's not true. Women do provide in like a certain way. Like we provide, like you said, it's an emotional era where there's more like bringing emotions in the beginning rather than just fully providing. But do you know what? Women also provide like men comfort, support, love, care, kindness. We provide men with a lot of things,
of course,
emotionally. And do you know, sometimes that's what somebody needs to like push them to be great. And talking about those traditional relationships, that's what our mums did back then. They supported their husbands.
That's true.
And their husbands provided for them, and through that they gave them that support to then that man would be able to pursue his dreams. Maybe the woman be even working a job just so that man can pursue his dreams. Maybe she's not being able to provide financially, but she's providing a service for the man as well. Not only the man providing, the funds, with maybe sometimes behind a great man there's a greater woman. So it's just how you look at it.
I think when I'm talking about provision, though, I'm coming from the angle of, I suppose women too are expected to provide in that sense, the way you've described it. However, I'm talking about in the traditional setting of a relationship, right? If I, like, being in a relationship, I'm expected to take care of my significant other. Now, my girlfriend is probably expected to take care of me, but the definition of how taking care of me is more personal to me. I think everybody, like society, will be more focused on how I take care of her as opposed to how she takes care of me.
Not true at all. There's both a perception.
No, that's fair. But for me, I just feel like
society doesn't
I just feel like
that at all. I didn't think. Look up. I feel like, to be honest, nowadays society wants men, even modern men nowadays, to bring what women bring as well to the table. They can bring the money, that's okay, but be emotional, you know?
Yeah.
Understand your woman, be understanding, push her towards her dreams, just the way women do. We are now expecting the same in this modern era, because I feel like many of us, we look at our parents or even our elders and we see that, I mean, the men would bring the money in and everything, but emotionally, I feel like that's very important as well. That emotional part missing is very important to the relationship as well.